Sunhaven. If you enjoy games like Stardew Valley or Harvest Moon, you'll feel welcome at Sunhaven's familiar sanctuary. While it leans more toward fantasy, all the bits and pieces you know about farm sims are all here, and they're stylized in an adorable pixel aesthetic. Apex Point. While American cars are the staple, Apex Point makes the argument that Japanese cars deserve the same recognition. A celebration of Japan and car culture in general, it shows off a stunning open world. Where it really shines though is in its multitude of customizations. Tear down cars, build them up the way you want, and drive around. It's a car enthusiast's dream. Big ambitions. Become a tycoon in this new sim game. Running a business isn't a piece of cake. Thankfully, you'll have your trusty uncle to show you the ropes. Run around a simulation in New York City and go from one small business to a multinational empire.
And my empire grew.
Bloody hell. What's not to love about a game where an angel takes on Satan himself? Bloody Hell's bullet hell mayhem is challenging, but its impressive selection of abilities makes up for all the blood, sweat, and tears. Not to mention, the game is completely free. Treason. A first-person shooter multiplayer game with an investigative twist. Think of it as Among Us, but you're trying to find the killer behind your mafia boss's death. Weed out the traitors using force or your wits. Cooking Live, Italian Kitchen Simulator. Set your sights to find the tastiest Italian cuisine in this cooking simulator. Play as an up-and-coming vlogger and travel around this lush European landscape cooking that perfect meal. It's a free-to-play game but with limited resources to get you coming back the next day. Crab Champions. We're not kidding, this is a game about crabs with guns. Enter a chaotic island of crustaceans and face off against a consortium of crabs. Don't think too much, just put yourself into the legs of a crab and blast your foes to death.
Mark! She's here!
Crimson Snow. Christmas isn't the loveliest time in this horror game. Crimson Snow's relentless jump scares will catch you off guard, and its unnerving house setting adds dread to the supposedly festive season. Demonologist. And speaking of horror, Demonologist makes the list. Phasmophobia might have taken over the spotlight for multiplayer games, but Demonologist has its own tricks up its sleeve. Gather 3 of your friends and find your way inside haunted locations. Identify the cause of the spectral threat and live to tell the tale. Tastemaker, Restaurant Simulator. A simple restaurant management game where you build your own culinary business. Make enough profit to expand your budding franchise. There's no pressure. Take all the time you need as long as your patrons are happy. Gatekeeper Eclipse. A fast-paced roguelite taking place in a doomed sci-fi world. If you want to try it out, it's free. It's merely a taste of what's to come. The full game is coming out soon, bringing in more enemy varieties, abilities, and levels. Good pizza, great pizza. Wind down after a long day's work with a surprisingly cozy pizzeria sim. The cute cartoon style and the tactile pizza making are what make bowing down to the whims of finicky customers worth it. You won't want to play this with an empty stomach. Hellcard. Are you a Slay the Spire fan in need of a change of scenery? Look no further than Hellcard. It's a different take on the deck building genre, adding multiplayer to the usually solo experience. Fair warning, it's in early access, so there's still a lot of room for improvement. Ikki Unite. Imagine Vampire Survivors, but you get to play with 15 other people in one shared space. Ikki Unite is just that, unadulterated chaos of numbers and pixels. The downside? Everything's in Chinese. But with a game where you run around and power up your character as you go, reading isn't your #1 priority. Juno New Origins. A space sim borrowing mechanics from its much more popular sibling, Kerbal Space Program. Juno New Origins tests your ability to create, a daunting task that, if perfected and with the right calibrations, can take you to the far reaches of the galaxy. Munchkin Digital. A video game adaptation of the classic tabletop you've probably heard of. It has old-school art style and dynamic card-based combat, more a satire of the Dungeons & Dragons board game, offering a lot of laughs and surprises. My dream setup. Make the room of your dreams in the simulation game where you build your cozy abode. Whether it's for gaming, blogging, or simply a place to rest, there are a lot of choices for you. Best of all, you don't have to spend any money buying actual furniture. Papa's Freezeria Deluxe. Cool Math Games website is a treasure trove of classics. If you heard of Papa's Pizzeria, get ready for its chili counterpart. Serve delicious sundaes to an island starved for sweets. This deluxe edition comes with remixed tunes, better visuals, and bonus content. Now only if they could release all of Papa's games to Steam.
Boys, here are your new objectives for today.
Warplanes, Battles over Pacific. This VR game takes you to the highest points of World War II, literally. Soar through these skies and engage in frenetic dogfights, solo or PvP. With realistic graphics, war has never been this terrifying and exciting. Playcraft. Create your own video game in the sandbox adventure where anything is possible. Like PlayStation's Dreams, you can craft that ideal game world depending on your type of genre. First person or third person, platforming or bowling, there are so many options to experiment with. Reshaping Mars. Terraform the red planet and turn it into the new Earth. Reshaping Mars uses the real Mars terrain database for you to explore and create. Numbers and text on screen can be intimidating for the uninitiated. If you're a fan of building simulators, this shouldn't faze you in your quest to build humanity a second home. Roboquest. Roboquest fast-paced shootouts remind us of Overwatch with roguelite mixed in. Take control of armed-to-the-teeth mecha heroes and shoot through challenging levels. You can even invite a friend to tag along in the local 2-player co-op. It's still in early access and more improvements and content may come at a full release. West Hunt. An online whodunit set in the Wild West. Choose between a detective or the killer and join other players in a social space. Each role has its own objectives to fulfill, and it all depends on how crafty you are with getting the right information. Spin Rhythm XD. A homage to the old school rhythm games like Guitar Hero and Dance Dance Revolution. This rhythm game comes with a literal twist. Spin the wheel and time those beats with its matching color. Anyone with a knack for rhythm will find this interesting. Spiritfall. We end this list of underrated games with another roguelite. It combines the fast-paced combat of Hollow Knight with the replayability of Dead Cells. Getting stronger after death is the game's core feature, and it's up to you to use its randomly generated levels to your advantage.